Hello everybody, welcome to Module 4D. I wanted to make a correction to the last module that I was talking about the homework. You are to do the interval construction and interval identification exercises. Focus on doing the interval construction above the given note, so the black note, you're going to make your blue note above that given black note, and you're going to get at least 10 to 15 out of 15 questions correct on those, and you're going to submit photos and scans of 5B and 5C as well. Once you submit those, I can give you an answer key with all the correct answers so that you can have that and see it as well to make those corrections to your own work. So I wanted to make that clear. And 5B has the exercises writing intervals above a given note, while 5C has them writing below a given note, which is what we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to construct intervals below a given note. As a reminder, we're never going to alter the beginning note that we have. The procedure is the same as writing above a given note. However, you're never going to alter the given note. So if we were writing an augmented 6 below E, so E is our given note, right? We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're just going a different way. So I counted. I have a G, right? Now, if you're thinking about this in terms of the scale, you're still going to look at this bottom G that we wrote in as the tonic of that scale. So we're thinking, in the key of G major, is there an E natural? Which, yes, there is. So this is a sixth, and we want an augmented sixth. So what we have written right now is a major sixth. But to make it augmented means that we have to widen the interval by 1/2 step. So we need to make this G a G flat. And if you count the half steps between G flat to G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 10 half steps written in here. 10 half steps. Where is my chart? 10 half steps is a minor seventh or an augmented sixth. Because if you look at this, you have a major sixth, right? To make it augmented, you have to raise that pitch by 1/2 step. So you can see that there. So that's in terms of half steps, but then also if you look at it, if you have a G flat to an E natural, if you think in the key of G flat major, you have G flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, and G flat. And if you look there, you have an E natural, right? So an E flat, so an E natural would be an augmented sixth already. So, here's more practice. So, I would recommend pausing this, and then I will help you go through these. Alright, so here we want to have a major sixth, so we're going to count below. Note that we're in bass clef over here. So we have a B, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we know we're going to have some sort of a D, right? And if you're thinking about this in terms of scales, between D and B, you have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B natural, so that is a major sixth. You could also count the half steps between D and B natural, which gets you, between D and B natural is a major sixth. You have 9 half steps, right? So if you counted 9, you're correct. Perfect fifth, we're writing below, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to have some sort of G, and we know because of our little tip about perfect intervals, unless they're B to F sharp, or F sharp to B, or B flat to F, or F to B flat, you know that they're going to share the same accidentals. So B sharp to D sharp is a perfect fifth. You could also count the amount of half steps that you have. Perfect fifth has 7 half steps, and this also has 7 half steps because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. So now major third, we're going to count a 1, 2, 3, right? And if we look here, between G and B flat, if you're thinking in terms of the key, you know that that's a minor third of what's written. So you need to essentially expand that by 1/2 step, right, to make it a major third. Or you could think about it in terms of half steps. You have between G to G sharp to A to A sharp. That's only 3 half steps. 3 half steps is a minor third, right? But we need a major third. So to make that major, we will make this a G flat. So then you have G flat to G, G to G sharp to A to A sharp or B flat, which is a major third. Then over here we have an F, right? So we need a seventh below. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know it's a G. If you think about it in terms of the key, you have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G, right? So we know a major seventh would be G to F sharp, but we have a minor seventh that we need written. Since our G is our tonic, we know that F sharp would be a major seventh, so a minor seventh would be to F sharp, or F natural, sorry, which is exactly what we have written. Cool. So, this is the worksheet 5C, which has you writing out intervals below a given note. So, if I was looking over here at this diminished seventh one, I need a seventh below, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I know it's got to be some sort of F. You could think about it in terms of the scale, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, right? So I know what I have right now is a major seventh. You could also count the amount of half steps between F and E, which would give you a major seventh of 11 half steps. But we need this to be diminished. So major, major, minor, diminished, and augmented. So our major seventh needs to be lowered by 2 half steps to make it diminished. So if you have an F and you need to make it diminished, we're not changing that E to make it an E double flat, right? We can't change that because that's our given note. So, contrary to popular belief, you're not actually going to add 2 flats like you would writing the intervals above a given note. You actually want to raise your written note that you wrote by 2 half steps because you're condensing that interval, right? So you need to make this an F double sharp because that creates 2 less half steps. So because if you look between F and E natural, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 half steps, right? But if you look at F double sharp, you're eliminating 2 of the half steps, making it a diminished seventh. Let's try this augmented fourth next to it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know it's going to be some sort of D, and you have a G flat, right? So first, my recommendation would be to make a perfect fourth so that you can see it out better, right? And I know that perfect fourths and fifths share the same accidentals, so I know a D flat to a G flat is correct, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps, which make it a perfect fourth, right? Perfect fourth is 5. Did I count wrong? I probably did. Between D flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, sorry, counted to the wrong key. So I have 5 half steps, right? And if we're making this, we know that this is a perfect interval. So we're going to widen this interval by 1 half step, right? So you can't change the note that you are given, which is that G flat. So to widen the interval or expand the interval, you need to make this a D double flat in order to make that an augmented interval. Let's try one more. Let's do this E flat right next to it. So we want an augmented sixth, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is some sort of G, right? I want to manipulate this essentially to make it a major sixth first. So how would I do that? I would make it a G flat because in the key of G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, and a C flat as well. Okay, so then I can see, I have a major sixth of what's written, right? But you want it to make an augmented sixth. You want it to be 1 half step wider than it is. So you have between G flat to E flat, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 an interval of 9 half steps, right? 9 half steps technically is a major 6, which is what I have written, and to make that an augmented 6, you need to add another half step. So essentially, without changing the given note, how would you manipulate this so that it has 10 half steps? A double flat. Let's try maybe 1 or 2 more that aren't diminished and augmented. So over here, up here, you have this minor third, right? It's asking you to write. So D, C, right? Okay, so we can't change this to make it an E flat, to make it a minor third. So we need to change what we wrote. So minor third, if we look, has 3 half steps. So my recommendation would be to start at E, right, and go down 3 half steps. So 1, 2, E flat, D, C sharp. So I would make this a C sharp to have it be a minor third between C sharp to E, because you have C sharp to D to D sharp, and D sharp to E to create that minor third, which I feel like is much easier. Or like when you look at this, you need a major third right next to it, right? So you need some sort of B because you have to count that distance, and you have a D above. So to make a major third here, like what are we going to do? Well, start at your D flat, and then say to yourself, oh, a major third. A major third has 4 half steps, right? So we're counting down from D flat. So we have 1 to C. C to B is 2. And then B to B flat is 3. And then to B double flat would be 4, or A. So I would have to have B double flat and D flat to make that major third. Yeah, so writing intervals below a given note is definitely a little more tricky. So please let me know if you need an additional video made or if you need additional help with these exercises. I'm always free via email. But before you email me, definitely check what Chapter 5 in the textbook, the interval creation exercise, and exercise 5C contain content from this lecture, which is part of what we were doing before. So I would advise doing that. I also would advise not leaving this to the last minute if you can help it, so that you have more time to sit with this prior to the quiz. I believe that's all for now, so I will see you folks later in next week's modules. Alright, have a great one.